Hi everybody, it's Crystal. So today I'm going to show you how to make this little bonnet here. It's a little summer bonnet. I made it for my baby Evelyn so when she goes swimming that her head don't get so hot. It's made out of 100% cotton, so it's a lot lighter weight. And I made it with double crochet, so it's pretty breathable. And then the flower, you don't have to put the flower on if you don't want, and then it has the strap across. And it buttons on the inside there, so you can't really see the button. But if you wanted to see the button, you could put the button on the outside too. I'm going to be using, you can make it 2 different sizes just by then changing the needle. So for 6 to 12 months is what I made. You're going to want to use a size H, which is a 5mm crochet hook. And if you want a smaller size, like 0 to 6 months, I would use a G, which is a 4.25. But I'm going to go ahead and do the 6 to 12 month size with the 5mm. That way she'll have 2 of them here. So I'm going to set this to the side. And you're also going to need a little button. Just some type of button. Mine's just a plain wooden one because, like I said, I put it on the inside. But if you want like a decorative button, if you want to leave the flower off and maybe get a decorative button to put on the outside, you can definitely do that too. That's just an option if you want to. I am using Peaches and Cream, which is a medium weight 4-ply 100% cotton yarn. And this is going to be the main color of my hat. And then I got some colors that I'm going to use for the flower too. But it's all the same brand. And this roll has about 120 yards, and it's going to take almost a whole roll. So one roll will be enough to make the hat, and then you just need not very much hardly to make the flower. So if you have this and you just have scraps, that's probably enough to make the flower. And you'll need just some, if you want to use regular sewing thread and sewing needle to sew that button on, or you can use yarn or whatever you usually use to sew buttons on. Okay, you want to start off with a slip knot on your hook. This is a really, really easy hat. Any beginner should be able to do it. Okay, you want to go ahead and start off with a chain of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to slip stitch into the very first chain there to form a ring. I always use my finger and hold my ring open so I can put stitches in it like that. Now I'm going to start off round 1 with a chain 1. Now I'm going to work 12 double crochets through the center of the ring. So I'm going to yarn over to do my double, and I'm going to go right through the center of the ring and grab my yarn and pull it through. And then I'm going to finish out my double crochet. It's like that. And I'm going to do that a total of 12 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can slide them over if you need more room. 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now I'm going to end the round by slip stitching into my very first double crochet that I did. And that will end round 1. And you'll have 12 double crochets. Like that. Now if you pull your tail, you should be able to make that center circle a little bit smaller. And then you can always sew it shut at the end the rest of the way. Now instead of keep working around and around, I'm actually going to turn every row. So I'm going to chain 1 and turn, and then I'm going to start row 2. So I'm going to turn my work. Now I'm going to work right back into that same stitch right there. This one, the very first one. And I'm going to do 2 double crochets through that very first stitch, and that one's kind of tight to get into since we slip stitched into it, but And so there's 1 and 2. Now I'm going to work 2 double crochets in every single stitch all the way around. 2 in the next, and then 2 in the next, and I'm just going to repeat this 2 doubles in every stitch until I get back to the beginning. Okay, when you make it all the way around, you should have a total of 24 double crochets at the end of this round. And you want to go ahead and slip stitch into your very first double crochet here to end round 2. Like that. Now again, I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work. Now for row 3, or round 3, I want to go ahead and put 1 double crochet back into the same stitch that we just slip stitched into. So right back there into that spot, I'm going to put 1 double crochet. It's kind of tight, but like that. Now the next stitch, I'm going to put 2 double crochets into the same stitch, and then 1 double into the next stitch, and then 2 doubles into the next. And that's kind of the repeat all the way around. 1 double into the next stitch, and then 2 doubles into the next. 1 double into the next, and then 2 doubles into the next. So I'm going to repeat that all the way around until I get back to the beginning. Okay, when you make it to the end, you should have a total of 36 double crochets, and you just want to go ahead and slip stitch into your first one here to end round 3. And again, I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work. Okay, for round 4, I'm going to go ahead and double crochet right here back into the same stitch. Like that. And now I'm going to put 1 double crochet into the next stitch. So now we have 2 double crochets in a row. Now the next stitch is going to get 2 double crochets into the same stitch. 2. Now again, I'm going to put 1 double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. So 1 here and 1 here. So we'll have 2 in a row again. And then my next stitch is going to get 2 double crochets into the same stitch. And then I'm going to put 1 double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. So 1 there, 1 there, and then the next one is going to get 2 double crochets in the same stitch. So you just want to repeat this pattern of 1 double, 2 doubles, 1 double, 2 doubles, all the way back around until you get back to the beginning. Okay, at the end of that round, you should have a total of 48 double crochets, and you want to go ahead and slip stitch into your first double crochet to end round 4. Now we'll chain 1 and turn. Okay, to start round 5, we'll go ahead and put 1 double crochet right back here into the same stitch. So now I'm going to put 1 double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. So 1 and 1. So counting that first double crochet, we'll have 3 double crochets in a row. 1, 2, 3. Now my next stitch is going to get 2 double crochets into the same stitch. Like that. And now I'm going to put 1 double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and then 2 double crochets into the next. 1 double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and then 2 double crochets into the next. You want to repeat that pattern now all the way back around to the beginning. Okay, you should have a total of 60 double crochet at the end of round 5. And now I'm not going to slip stitch anymore to join. Now I'm just going to be going in rows back and forth. I'm not going to slip stitch the rows together. So what I'm going to do now is chain 1 and turn. Now it's just going to be 1 double crochet in every stitch. So I'm going to go yarn over and go right back into that exact same stitch. So this very first one here, and double crochet. And now I'm going to work my way around, putting 1 double crochet in every single stitch. And I want to do that for 4 rows. So we're on row 6. I want to do row 7, row 8, and row 9. All of them are going to be 1 double crochet in every stitch. And I don't know, it probably looks kind of big to you, and that's fine, because we'll start doing decreases later and it'll gather up. You can see I made it more poofier in the back, but when you get to the front, it kind of gathers up a little bit, so it'll fit their head when it gets to the front. So I mean, it might look kind of funny now, but it'll fit. Good thing I have my daughter to try it on. I'm never really good at crocheting something without having a model there to try something on. So I'm going to keep working 1 double crochet in every stitch. Okay, when you make it to the end, you want to make sure you go into this last double crochet there. You'll have a total of 60 double crochet, and you just chain 1 and turn, and then you want to repeat that 3 more times. So it's counting this row we just did, it's 4 total. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Row 6, all 1 double crochet in every stitch. 7, 8, and 9 are all 1 double crochet in every stitch. Okay, I went ahead and did. I just finished my 9th row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And you still should have 60 double crochets around. Now we're going to start kind of gathering it so it comes in a little bit. So we're going to chain 1, and then I'm going to turn my work. Okay, row 10. I'm going to go ahead and put 1 single crochet right back into that same spot. Right there. Like that. Now I'm going to put 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So counting that first one we did, we'll have 3 single crochets in a row. Right there. And now I'm going to do a single crochet decrease over the next 2 stitches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the next stitch, and I'm going to draw up a loop. And then with these loops still on my hook, I'm going to go into the next stitch and draw up a loop. And I'll have 3 loops on my hook, and I'm going to yarn over and go through all 3 loops. So that took those 2 stitches that we were working in, and it made it into 1. So now I'm going to do 1 single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And then I'm going to do a single crochet decrease over the next 2. So I'm going to go into the next stitch and draw up a loop. And then I'm going to go into the next one and draw up a loop. 3 loops on my hook, yarn over, and go through all 3. Now I'm going to do 1 single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to do a single crochet decrease over the next 2, just like that. And that's the pattern this time around. 1 single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches, 1, 2, and 3, and then single crochet decrease over the next 2, just like that. So I'm going to repeat that pattern until I get over here to the other side. Okay, I'm over here at the end, and I just did 3 single crochets in a row, and I have 2 stitches left, this one and this one, and I'm just going to go ahead and decrease over them to finish out that repeat and to end row 10, like that. And at the end of this row, you'll have a total of 48 single crochets. So now you want to chain 1 and turn. Row 11, we'll go ahead and single crochet right back into the same stitch, and then I'm going to put 1 single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. So counting that first one, we'll have 4 single crochets in a row. And now I'm going to single crochet decrease over the next 2. So I'm going to go into the next one, drop a loop, and into the next one, drop a loop, and yarn over and go through all 3 loops on my hook. Now I'm going to put 1 single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then I'm going to single crochet decrease over the next 2. Like that. 1 single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then single crochet decrease over the next 2. Just like that. So I'm going to repeat that pattern until I get over here to the other side. Okay, I'm coming to the end, and I just did 4 single crochets in a row, and I'll have 2 single crochets left, and I want to go ahead and decrease over those last 2 stitches like that. And that ends row 11, and you should have a total of 40 single crochets at the end of this row. So now for row 12, I'm going to chain 1 and turn. And you can see how it kind of gathered up a little bit there, so it's starting to look a little bit better. Not so funny looking. Okay, now you want to put 1 single crochet right back into that same stitch, like that. And now I'm just going to work across, putting 1 single crochet in every stitch. And I'm going to do that for 4 rows. So rows 12, 13, 14, and 15 are all going to be 1 single crochet in every stitch, and there'll be 40 single crochets at the end of each row. So just like this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to work putting 1 single crochet in every stitch, and I'm going to do that for 4 rows, and then I will see you back here in just a second. Okay, I went ahead and finished my 4 rows there of 1 single crochet in every stitch, and this is what it's kind of starting to look like. Kind of starting to look like a bonnet. Okay, now I'm going to should have 40 stitches there at the end of that row 15. So now I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work. Okay, row 16, I'm going to do a single crochet decrease over the very first 2 stitches. So starting at this very first one, I'm going to go in it and I'm going to drop a loop. And then I'm going to go into the next one and drop a loop. And I'm going to yarn over and go through all 3 loops on my hook. And now I'm going to work across, putting 1 single crochet in every single stitch until I get to the last 2 stitches. And when I get to the last 2 stitches, I will single crochet decrease over them. So I'm going to go ahead and work across here, putting 1 single crochet in every stitch. Okay, I made it to the end and I have 2 stitches left, so I'm just going to go ahead and single crochet decrease over those last 2 stitches like that. And you should have a total of 38 single crochets now at the end of row 16. So now I'm going to chain 1 and turn. Row 17. I'm just going to repeat that last row again. So I'm just going to single crochet decrease in the first, over the first 2 stitches. So starting with this very first one, I'm going to go in and draw up a loop. And the next one, draw up a loop. Yarn over, go through all 3. And now I'm going to do 1 single crochet in every stitch until I get to the last 2 again, and I'll go ahead and single crochet decrease over the last 2 stitches. Okay, I'm at the end and I'm at my last 2 stitches, and I'm going to go ahead and single crochet decrease over those last 2. And those chain 1, that chain 1 we did does not count as a stitch or anything, so just like that. And then we'll have 36 single crochets at the end of row 17. So now I'm going to chain 1 and turn. Okay, and you'll see that it kind of starts to go in just a little bit, and that's what you want on the ends. Now I'm going to repeat for row 18. I'm going to repeat that last row again. So I'm going to go into the very first stitch, draw up a loop, and then the next stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over, and go through all 3 loops. And now it's 1 single crochet in every stitch until I get to the end again, and then I'll do a single crochet decrease over my last 2 stitches. Okay, I made it to the end again, and I'm just going to single crochet decrease over my last 2 stitches like that. And you'll have a total of 34 single crochets at the end of row 18. And now I'm going to chain 1 and turn. Row 19, I'm going to repeat that row one last time. So I'm going to go ahead and decrease over the first 2 stitches like that, and 1 single crochet in every stitch across until I get to my last 2. And then I'll decrease over my last 2 stitches. Okay, I'm at the end, and I'm into my row 19, and I'm decreasing over my last 2 stitches. And now you'll have a total of 32 single crochets at the end of round 19. And now I'm going to tie off right here and clip my yarn. And I'm going to go around it and edge it. So that's what it kind of looks like so far. So now I'm going to start my yarn. I'm going to put it this way. Right here in the V. Pull it up closer, I guess. I'm going to start my yarn right here in this stitch right here. So right at the center of the V is where I'm going to start. So I'm going to go ahead and pull my yarn through here like that. Now I'm going to chain 1. Now I'm going to go right back into that same stitch, and I'm going to single crochet. And I'm just going to work 1 single crochet. I'm going to kind of evenly space them out because you can't really tell where the single crochets are going to go when you're going up the side here. But I'm going to evenly space out 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way up and around the whole piece. So I'm just going to do my best to kind of space them out. They're not going to be perfect, and everybody's not going to have the same amount at the end because, you know, there's not an exact spot to put them. So just do your best to kind of evenly space them out. This is just making the edge look a lot cleaner. I like to do that. I think it looks better that way. So. And then when I get up here to the corner, when I get up here to the corner here, I'm going to put 2 single crochets right up here in this corner stitch. That way it just kind of rounds the corner a little bit nicer. And then I'm just going to continue across until I get to the other side. But up here you'll be able to see where the single crochets go on top here. It's just the sides you have trouble with. Or I have trouble with it anyways. And then when I get to this corner over here, I'm going to go ahead and put 2 single crochets in that one too. And now I'm just going to work my way down the side here, kind of just spacing out my single crochets all the way down, just like we did on the other side. All the way down the side and back to where I started. So down, and right here's where I started. Okay, when you make it back to your starting point, just go ahead and slip stitch into that first single crochet there. And then you can tie this off and clip your yarn. And then if you want to hide your tails now, you can. Okay, for the strap, you can actually put it whatever side you want. I'm going to put my strap on the left side so it straps over to the right, but you could do it either way you want. So looking right here and counting, I'll show you where I'm going to start with my hat facing. The bottom's right here and here's the top. On our rows of single crochet, you can see my first one, I'm going to count back this way 6. 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 6, and I'm going to follow up and grab that single crochet up here. And that's where I'm going to start in. And it doesn't have to be exactly that spot. It's not really that important. Just somewhere around the vicinity of right here before your bill starts angling up. So I'm going to go ahead and start right here. And I'm going to chain 1. And I'm going to go right back into that same stitch and single crochet. Now I'm going to single crochet into the next 2 stitches. So my strap is going to consist of 3 single crochets. And then I'm going to chain 1 and turn. And I'm going to single crochet right back into that same stitch. And then again into the next 2. Like that. And I'm going to chain 1 and turn. And I'm just going to keep repeating that. 3 single crochets. And I want to do that for a total of 16 rows. If you want, if you have your child there and you want to maybe try it on them and see if that's going to work, but 16 rows is what I do, and I think that's going to be pretty much set for, you know, most children about that size. Okay, once you get the 16 rows of the strap, I'm going to go ahead and do it. I didn't tie off or anything. I'm still got it here. I'm going to go ahead and chain 4. 1 2 3 4, and I'm just going to slip stitch over here into the single crochet that's on the other side, and that's going to make the hole for the button. And now I'm going to tie this off and hide any remaining tails that I have. And there you got your little hole. And then you can take a thread and needle, and depending on what we talked, like I talked about in the beginning, where you want to put your button, I sewed mine right here on the opposite side in about the same spot on the inside, because so my button's on the inside. But if you want to put it on the outside, that would look cute too. Out here, that really depends on what you want. Now you can be done if you want, or if you want to make the flower and the leaves, I'll show you how to do that real quick. If my kids allow it, I hear them out there being crazy. So for the center of the flower, I'm using the same size hook and everything. So I want to start off with a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3, and now I'm going to slip stitch back into the first one to form a ring, and I'm going to chain 1, Now I'm going to work 10 single crochets through the center of the ring. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you got to pull them over, you can pull them over to make room here. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, now I'm going to slip stitch into the first one, so I'm going to count back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10 to make sure I get the right one. Not the chain one, but the first single crochet that we did. Like that. Now if you pull that center tail, you can close your circle up, and if you don't get it all the way close, you can use your thread here and sew it shut at the end. Now I'm going to tie off, because I always tie off when I switch colors, because myself, I can't make a color change without it looking silly. So, but if you can, go right ahead. You can just slip stitch your new color in. But I'm going to go ahead and tie that off, and I'm going to start fresh with a new color. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a different color here. Now this is going to be the petal color. And if you tie it off, you can start in any single crochet that you want to. And I'm going to start by chaining 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to be working right back into that same stitch, and I'm going to work 3 triple crochets all into the same stitch. So there's 1, and we'll work in triples. 2, 3, and then I'm going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to slip stitch into that same stitch like that. And that is your first petal. So now I'm going to skip this next stitch. I'm not going to do anything there, and I'm going to slip stitch into the next one. And I'm going to repeat this again. So I'm going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to work 3 triple crochets back into the same stitch. There's 1. 2. And 3, and then I'm going to chain 4, and I'm going to slip stitch back into the same stitch again, like that, and that is petal number 2. So I'm going to skip the next stitch, skip it, and slip stitch into the next, and I'm going to repeat this pattern all the way around until I have a total of 5 petals. Okay, once you get your 5 petals made, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You should have 1 stitch left. Just go ahead and skip it, and then slip stitch right here into this first petal space, like that. And then you pull up a long tail so you can sew it onto your hat with it. That's what I always do. But now I'll just take my yarn needle and I'll sew that center circle up so it don't have a hole in it. And then I'll sew in all the tails except for this long one, and I'll sew that on the bag with it. But I'll set that to the side. I'll do that in a minute. For the leaves, I just made 2 the same. You definitely don't have to do that if you don't want. You can make 1, or if you don't even want any leaves, that's fine. But they're really easy too. You want to start off with a chain of 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch in the second stitch from the hook. So we don't count this one, it's on our hook. So 1, 2. Go ahead and slip stitch into it. And now I'm going to single crochet into the next stitch. And then I'm going to half double crochet into the next stitch. And then I'm going to double crochet into the next 3 stitches. So there's 1, 2, and 3, and you should have 1 stitch left right down here. And I'm going to put 7 double crochets in this, all in this last stitch. So there's 1, 2, 3, might get kind of tight, but 4, cram them all in there, 5, 6, and 7. And you'll notice that you're kind of on the opposite side of the chain now, and that's what you want. We're going to just turn it and start working back up this side. So I'm going to go ahead and put 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches, and you can see the first one is going to be right there. So 1 double, and then I'm going to double into the next, and 1 more double into the next. So that was 3 doubles in a row, and now I'm going to put 1 half double into the next, and then a single into the next, and then I'm just going to slip stitch right here into this last spot right here. And now I'm going to pull a long tail again so we can sew the leaves onto the hat with it, just like that. Oh. So there's the leaf. You can go ahead and sew this in. I kind of hid mine as I was going, so I'm just going to go ahead and clip it off. Now to sew them onto the hat, I always just use some pins to stick them on the hat with, and then I sew. You can put it on either side that you want. I'm going to put it on opposite side of the strap to the button side, but either one that you want to do. But I usually just lay out my leaves, like 1 here and 1 here, and then I just pin them on. However, you just kind of rearrange them however you want to do it. That's up to you. You're the artist. Just do it however it looks good to you. So 1 here, and then I'd put the other one kind of like right here. And then I would take my flower, and then I would pin it on, which I still have to sew that circle up, but I will. And then I pin it on. And it looks cute with just 1 leaf too, if you wanted to do it that way. And then I'll just take my yarn needle, and I'm going to neatly sew on my leaves and flowers to the other side. Just like this is. And you can kind of see some of my stitches, but I just neatly sewed so you couldn't see very many of these stitches on the other side. I actually just sewed right around this area. These aren't sewed. So the flowers is pretty much sewed in the center, and the leaves are sewed all the way around though, around the edges. But that's it. That is all there is to it. I hope you were able to follow along okay. If you make this or anything else, I'd love to see a picture of it. You can post a picture of it on my Bagoday Crochet Facebook page. I'll put a link to that below in the description box. And please don't forget to check out all my other tutorials. I have a whole bunch of them. And until next time, have a good day.